You know me, Harkula. If you had been just a couple of minutes earlier, I would not have seen your message. I think I opened up my Twitch stream manager like 5:54. I'm cutting it close these days. Yeah. Anyway, let's play some Minecraft. We have a little bit of testing left to do, so we're working on the powder snow farm today. This is an interesting farm, and it's taken me longer than I thought it would to actually get it working. There were a couple of problems with it. One was that actually they both stemmed from the fact that there used to be observers under these cauldrons here. And those observers would, let me show you. I should hang on to this for a minute, but the observers would go there and then block here, and then that would trigger these to push. There were two problems with this. One was that this line was up a little bit higher, and so the observers would actually power this line and cause it to feed back and push these too soon, which would break the whole farm. The other problem was that this worked fine in testing once I moved the line down, but as soon as I put the snow on, well, then it failed miserably because these cauldrons would randomly fill with snow, and it was pretty unlikely that any one of them would randomly fill while it was on top of an observer. But in that design, something like 10% of the cauldrons were on top of observers, and so it would cause these to trigger at the wrong time. And if that happened, it was generally okay. But if it happened to trigger just at the wrong time when this is pushing, then the cauldrons would get stuck. So, made some changes, and it does seem to work now. So instead of using observers, we're timing everything with redstone, timing everything off this one observer right here. Mihakil, I was messing with you. Late after being 21 minutes early. And I was saying that if you were even 1 minute earlier, I think I would have not seen your message because I didn't open my stream manager until like 5:54. I kind of understand now why all these streamers are sometimes late, and by all these streamers I mean Dish. But sometimes the stream will be late, and I'm like, how are you late here on stream? Aren't you like freaking out about this 30 minutes in advance? And the thing is, no, not anymore. So, welcome in. I don't seem to be compressed. It's because I got rid of some of the pistons in this farm. So, compressing me anymore. No, but I'm glad that the stream seems to be working. Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh. It's the archive. See, here's the thing. Tar is just an archive program. It's not necessarily a compression program. Although, if you look at my username, it is in fact with the compression option. But yes, I do have Z. Yes, and that's just because it rolls off the tongue nicer with the Z. Looks cooler. So yes. But there is a lot of compression that goes on YouTube. Like these streams, when I upload them to YouTube, they're typically, depending on the length of the stream, somewhere between 20 and 30 gigabytes. And when I download them, they're a tenth of that size. So yes, YouTube is highly compressing this. Do you use any specific distro or build your own user? Yes, which is why my YouTube username. There's a graph. I need to find this meme for y'all. And by y'all I mean specifically Mihakila. Linux. slow. Okay. Can I throw it in chat? The cooking supper so... Oh, sure. I just wanted to show you a meme. Let me know when you're back and I'll show you this meme. Explain what I use. In the meantime, let's see if this thing actually works with snow in it. Let's see. Do I have any buckets in these dispensers? Looks like no. Maybe. Let's put some buckets in before I forget. Okay, so we fill the dispenser with buckets, and then we just let them cycle around. And we're gonna go ahead and put a player in here. Okay. Set the bot to use continuously. And then we're going to start cycling buckets through. Then we're going to start up the farm and hope that this works. And as soon as all the cauldrons make it around to this observer, cycles again. Okay, so without running, let's set the weather to... Actually, before we do that, we need to set up the rate. Okay. To bucket. Other counters, true. Counter, reset. Weather snow. Weather rain. There we go. Okay. And now we see whether this thing actually works. Okay, Miharkla, while this runs, I'm gonna leave this running in the background, and like I can't do that, but I'm gonna show Firefox for a second. I'm a Linux Mint user. I'll get this off, actually. No? My face is covering the meme. I am a Linux Mint user. I would like to think that I'm at this end of the spectrum. My guess is that I'm probably not. I'm probably somewhere in the middle of Linux users because I'm not somebody that recompiles the kernel constantly or anything. But I do think that cool. Linux Mint is just something that it works. I don't want to have to think too much about my operating system. I just want it to work. And Linux Mint meets that criteria and doesn't have Snap. I want something with the Debian package manager, and the reason for that is because if something is released for only one package system, yeah, Pop! OS, because they included the NVIDIA drivers, yeah. Yeah, I want the Debian package manager because if it's only released for one package manager, it's gonna be the Debian. And so I don't want to use Ubuntu, so Linux Mint makes the most sense. My server runs Debian though, straight Debian. Okay, Minecraft time. Is it broken? No, okay, it's not broken. See what happens here. Cool. I realized that we don't actually need to wait. We don't actually need to synchronize these perfectly. It doesn't really matter what order they go in as long as we don't try to push twice before we finish going across. But the truth is that it's just kind of cool when it's synchronized. So I left it synchronized. So Mihako says my current laptop is from Framework, and originally they officially supported Ubuntu and Fedora. I tried Fedora but had issues with Steam, so I went to Ubuntu. However, I got this random boot up error that seems not to affect anything, but is annoying to see. I tried Linux Mint, which is now one of the officially supported ones, and no longer get that issue. Oh yeah. Yeah, Linux Mint is like, it just works, and I love it. Love it for that. Okay, so we'll take this farm a bit to get going. Eventually, we'll fill up. Obviously, when these cauldrons reach level 2 and 3, then we start. When we reach level 3, we start emptying them. But as it is, the level 2s will pile up. Okay, so this is full of snow and has not yet. Let's actually tick warp for a minute. So I'm not going to get the Gen 2 and Arch before, but now I just want the edges works because I ain't got time to compile everything from source. Same. I do this professionally. Like, I'm a software developer, and I really don't have time for. It's kind of sad. I don't always feel like doing that stuff in my personal life, and I just want my computer to work so I can stream and play Minecraft. Like, that's maybe it's sad. There are those people that can do this as a full-time job and then you compile Linux by night. Thanks, Eve. You don't need to. Like, you certainly can, but I don't want to be a distraction if it's bothering other people at your game table. But I hope you're having a good time. That the game night has been fun for you. And also, hi to anybody else who might be listening. Eve has gotten into this League of Legends card game lately, which doesn't seem fun to me, but that's mostly because I'm not a trading card game kind of person. But Eve is really enjoying it, and I'm super happy for her. Okay, let's do something. Let's just tick warp this for a bit because obviously it's going to take some time to warm up. So tick warp, tick sprint. See, I took the tick warp out of carpet and put it in vanilla, and now it's tick sprint. And let's tick warp for say 3 days. No items yet. Oh, because it may take oh, hang on, we're out of buckets. Okay, Eve, that's cool. Yeah, Eve, if you just want to pay attention to your game, you do not have to listen, although I'm happy to have you here. When I last streamed 2 years ago, and I think I was using Ubuntu. I don't recall how long I've had this laptop, so it may have been Pop! OS on the old one, which is based off Ubuntu. Everything is based off Ubuntu. It's the thing. Why is... How much inventory space do you have, 100? Data gets... Entity. 200. Okay, so you have a full-size inventory. Let's fill you up with buckets. Okay, so it is carrying some powder snow buckets, which is not ideal. Okay, but this does seem to be working. Hockey would love to use Linux at work, but sadly they have Windows VDI/VMs working and use the RHEL for the application servers. I think using RHEL for application servers is pretty common. Certainly do at my work as well. Do you not have, like, are you a full thin client setup then, if you're using VDI all the time? My work has the option of a Windows workstation or a Mac, and as much as I would love to have a Unix-based or Unix-like environment to work in, I can't stand working on Mac OS. I like it to play, don't like it to work. And so I'm stuck with Windows and WSL. But if they would give me an Ubuntu laptop or a Linux laptop or really any Linux laptop, that would work for me. That's... Oh, there's no... What did I... What? I done messed up. Hang on. Ah, shit. Okay. Point is, damn thing works. You're clear. Okay. This is gonna work. So the next thing we have to do is finish mining out the spot on Realm of the Mad Duck where this goes, which is going to be interesting. Let's see. Let's knock out some of this stuff. Okay. So we have a couple of things to do. Let's see, let's set numbers off. Carpets. Is this carpet setting fill updates? False. That'll really block everything from getting updated when I do this replacement. And then I do position 1. Because I don't want the observers to fire when I do this. Position 2, replace powder snow cauldron with cauldron. Replace snow with air. That gets rid of the accumulated snow. And then what we're going to do, because we only have... Oh, we can use one of the cool filters, the cool masks with more of it. what we're going to do is we're going to replace everything down here. Replace any block in this bottom layer that has air on top of it. So replace anything under air with air. Okay. And this is going to expose our redstone lights. Also, we're going to use this. Okay, let's double check that there's nothing else going on here. Glad to have you back. Let's see. I need to now replace anything that's not air with smooth stone. And that's just going to replace these with smooth stone blocks so that we have everything redstone on top of smooth stone. And that's just a practice that I do to make sure that it's obvious in survival what's what. Like, oh, if it's smooth stone, oh, that has to be a important block, right? So I'm going to use these. And these. And then we're going to schematic this and we're going to put it in the worlds. Guys, we are going to build a farm today. I'm excited. So when at the office, we basically have a thin client which looks as if you're using a VM. Funny thing is we have Microsoft products there. Outlook, Teams, Office 365. But we have no permissions to do much of anything. Log into VM after that to connect to a machine I have admin access on to do my work. Okay, so your thin client connects to a VDI. And then from there, you do remote desktop section to actually getting your work done. Okay, that makes sense. The Citrix workspace. My work gives me an actual workstation, and I'm okay with that. I'm very happy with that, to be honest with you. Okay. No schematic placement, so area editor. Auto snow farm. 10K global sync. I'm calling this global sync because it sounds cool, but really it's just that everything is synchronized by redstone instead of just having observers here. We synchronize everything with redstone lines, which does make this push a little bit faster because originally we'd have an observer here and then we go into a repeater, which was set to 4 ticks, and so take 2, 4, and then 8 ticks to push, and now it only takes 4 to push. It takes 4, 6 to push. So tiny little performance gain there, but it does work. Okay, so arrow. This is my light magic tool. The default light magical tool is a stick, but I use an arrow because it's easier. Not easier, but in survival I have one on me, whereas I often don't have a stick. I always have an arrow, and I never need to use the arrow for anything, so it makes a convenient world edit tool. The DevOps team gets a different VDI image so they can actually do their work and don't need to connect to another VM. To the extent that my work has a DevOps team, I'm on the DevOps team. So that would be convenient for me, but I still feel bad for you. I'm so sorry. All IT departments have to be able to... They have to find a balance between usability for their employees and manageability for them. VDIs are good for IT departments because they never have to deal with um, they're good for IT departments because they never have to deal with inconsistencies. They never have to deal with somebody's image being out of date or somebody having the software in a weird configuration. It's easy for them to fix everything, and it's easy for things not to go wrong. But the problem is that kind of sucks for the user. Okay, let's see. Mihakula says for 3 months I got to work on a MacBook Pro working on the new automation framework. Then to complete dev environment on the machine running with Vagrant and whatever. Probably sound dumb and it's fine. So we had the same environment the devs did to run automation tests against. That's convenient. It sounds like that was the best 3 months of your job. Okay, let's see. Schematic. Area editor. Save schematic. Save schematic. Okay, let's do this. Save and quit. Options. Multiplayer. The hour-and-a-half drive 2 days a week wasn't. The rest I worked at the contract company size. Got a contract with the school where we got to use the MacBook set. Interesting. Oh yeah, I was doing my farm duties earlier. I don't know, sometimes you just want to do the farm stuff in Minecraft, play that game. Reminded of a story about IT troubleshooting someone's computer like 20 years ago. Okay, do tell us. Alright. We're going to the winter area. Was running super slow. Turns out he'd filled up his hard drive with bad content, so he had been saving my streams, is what I'm hearing. This is back before the stricter firewalls, and not at all. I mean, I used to work for a computer repair shop, and somebody once came in with a computer full of that stuff, and I was only like 16 at the time, so I didn't really say anything, but the other guy that worked there pulled the customer aside and had a little chat. Now you gotta be careful online, because he had every virus under the sun. Let's see, where would I do my mining project? Oh god, where did I... It's a big hole. How did I lose this hole? Here it is. Why does it build next to the snow globe? Some sort of ice farm, yes. This is Numbon's ice farm, and the way that it works, and now that they have shelves in the game, it's actually... I need to go back and fix it so that you can actually recycle your pickaxes. But you jump in the water stream, and it pushes you back and forth. And here, I'll show you, actually. So you go into the Silk Touch pickaxe, and you take off your boots. And you just hold. And when you get to the end, all of these water blocks that were pushing the ice out into the water stream, well, now they turn into water sources because of these stairs here. Um, and then by the time you make it all the way around, they're frozen again, and you can mine the ice. And once your inventory is full, then the ice starts flowing around the water stream and into the storage, which is really convenient. What's not convenient is getting in and out of this farm. But yeah, that works. Um, Moving on. Do I have a placement for this? I do. But we don't want to build that one anymore, so we are going to. So Eve says she's just spent 15 minutes reading all the rules to solve a dispute in a 2v2 game. Did you win the dispute? I'm sure you did, but did you? What did schematic? What did schematics? Oh boy. Big schematic. Because I solved the argument, the guy who won the game gave me a $30 card I needed. This is just such a nice group of people. Like, oh my goodness. We are killer. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just whiffed by just a little bit. It's fine. Okay. Configure, rotation. I definitely want the return on this side, so I'm going to rotate it 2 more times. Jesus, this is slow. My fans on my computer are spinning up, just moving the schematic around. It's just too many cauldrons. Fortunately, the farm is the same length. We didn't change the length, so we're good there. Just have to line it up with the area that we mined out. It's really such a nice place here. I like it. I've always liked the winter area. It's so cute. There we go. Snow looks nice, but I don't want to live there IRL. Yes. So here's the thing. I always tell people that here in Los Angeles, I miss snow. And it's true. I do miss snow. I miss having seasons, is the thing. But when it comes to... I might actually have to push this down one more and just dig that out. Now let's go ahead and do that so that we can have the landscape there. So shove that down one more, and then we can just line this out, and it'll be good. Okay, we're in good shape. And we just have to dig this out just a little bit more on this end, and we'll be good. Configure, lock. There we go. Now, we're gonna go and finish this. Eve is unable to help with digging, which you would think would be because she's playing a card game, and it is, but it's also because Joe hasn't fixed the Ender yet. Checking a memes channel, this is what I saw. Adulting is just saying I need to get through this week about 52 weeks a year. Yeah, you're not wrong. I try to make sure, as an adult, so that I am keeping the perspective. Because I think people do that. I think people always say, oh, I'm gonna be okay when. Um, and this isn't news to anybody, right? Of course it's not news. I don't know how life works, but let's see. What do I want to do here? Do I want to push this down one more? Where did I have this originally? I think I can. I'm debating how much of this I want to be under the terrain. Because if I push this down, as it is, this basically all has to be removed, so. We can leave it where it is for now. Because regardless, I didn't mine that out, so turn off the placements. And then, yeah, Simihaka, I was saying. I think at some point you just have to stop with that. And I'm a hypocrite because I'm in a phase in my life right now where I am very much thinking I need to get through this to do the next thing. But in my defense, I do have some pretty significant things to get through in the next several months. But yeah. See, this all has to go. But I do think at some point you just have to decide you're going to start living, and then start living. That is Ox's life advice. I think streamers often decide they want to be life coaches, and I see the appeal. You have a somewhat captive audience, and you got to tell them how you think life should be lived. Which is always a little. But as evil attest, I am always correct, so it's uniquely suited for me. Yes, Mihakula, I did. Okay, fortunately, the vast majority of this is dirt, so I can just mine it and not have to worry about a beacon. I really thought it was done with this part. But I decided I would rather have a farm that was slightly too big for the hole than a farm that was just slightly too small. Maybe eventually terraform the area. We'll see. I think I do want this actually one. I do want to put the farm down one layer. Because if I recall correctly, I had it originally positioned with the cauldrons, even with the terrain over on that side. So we'll see. Question. Miharuko, since you're here, you're always here talking about computers, which I appreciate because I'm a nerd, but I am curious if you play Minecraft. Like, I know you obviously do, but like, what do you do in it? Like, what kind of a player are you? I try to be a little bit of everything. I think I'm the most comfortable with redstone stuff, but I like to challenge myself as a builder sometimes. The one thing I have no interest in is PvP. MCC type stuff, the Hypixel, all that. Not a fan. So Miharuko says the plan to do stuff with my base, go farm materials, and get started leveling working on the build, and then don't ever get around to finishing because I get bored of it. No PvP. That's PV something. I'm not sure PV what, but like my mind is saying like player versus motivation, maybe? Player versus there's a clever thing to say. I just don't know what it is. I solve that problem by coming up with an idea and then needing materials for it, and that gets me to build farms. And so the resource gathering is its own fun challenge because I'm building farms instead of just going and getting stuff. Never did get very good at building. I think there's different ways to get good at building. Like, I've been around long enough and I've been watching like YouTube content and long enough that I can see that there are fashions when it comes to building. Like, stuff will go in and out of fashion. And right now, the fashion is to do very detailed builds with a lot of variety, a lot of shading, a lot of use of blocks for color. But for me, personally, people appreciate my builds, but I don't necessarily build that way. I think that I build the builds that I want to see, and that I have the time and energy to do, because some of those, if you're really passionate about building, you can spend hours and hours just getting the right shading on your build, and I would rather play the game, for me personally. And for other people, that is the game. But for me personally, I would rather spend my time just playing the game in a way that's fun for me. And so my builds tend to be a little bit more straightforward, a little bit more focused on structure than finish. Interesting. Never beat the game in survival single player. I didn't for a very long time. In in early Minecraft, there wasn't much of an incentive to do so unless you just wanted to complete the game. But for me, let's see, let me get the rest of these. So there wasn't a ton of incentive in early Minecraft because you didn't have the elytra, you didn't have the shulkers. And I played Minecraft when I was in high school, which was back in like 2016. No, that was college, 2012. Played a bunch of Minecraft back then. And then basically set it aside all through college and didn't really know what was going on. And I got back into it about 2020. So obviously a lot had changed between like 1.3 and 1.15 when I got back into it. Because I got back in right about the time that 1.16 was coming out, which is still my favorite update ever. But for a long time, I didn't play. And then when I came back, I didn't know all the things yet. And so I didn't actually beat the game until sometime in 2020. I need another shovel, but I don't know if I have another shovel. I may be in Eve's position here. I don't. Okay. Don't have another shovel, and there's no functional ender at the moment, and Joe wants to build a different design. So, I guess what we'll do is... Actually, I don't have very many shovels anyway, so I'm just gonna go and get more shovels. I think pretty much everyone here is... Oh, Joe, the ender. You wanted to build an ender mountless design. So... Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Miyahakula has sent some screenshots of his build from Mr. Feed and playing until he got distracted with Palia. What's Palia? Is that a... I don't know what that is. Okay. Let me desktop for a second. Oh, okay. Cool. So Miyahakula has built a mushroom island, or has unmushroomed an island. This is cool. Got this. So what was the concept here? Because it looks like you've got builds. I guess these were supposed to contain farms. Looks like some of these are unfinished. Underneath, you started excavating down to bedrock with the intention of adding support beams to the island above it. This is about as far down as I got with the exception of those beacons, which are at bedrock level. Interesting. Started with a big silo storage in the middle. Liked the idea and continued. Bubble base. That's cool. Okay. To the cruise ship. Okay, so far, knock on wood, I have dropped 0 frames. So this new modem seems to be working. Ugh. Your girl's tired. Wee. I have yet to see a use for fortune, except for the pickaxe. There's nothing you can really mine with a shovel that benefits from fortune, unless you're trying to get a lot of flint for some reason. Fortune, by the way, will give you extra flint from gravel. That's... Nobody cares about that. For the hoe, of course, with the sword it does nothing. I don't think you can put it on the sword. For the hoe, um, in theory, you could get extra crops, but I have not actually seen that to be the case. Okay, let's get like 3 shovels from my shovel guy. Back. Weaponsmith. Smith. You don't have shovel. You got shovel. 3 shovels. So the leftmost small one is an entrance down to a geode. That's cool. We love a geode. So was that when geodes were like brand new? Damn. Well, at least my elytra was repaired. I think I have everything at my base to enchant these. Although with only 22 levels, it's gonna be scuffed. Server started at 1. Okay, so this is recent then. Okay. Is this your server or is it a friend's server? Fortune for crops only works for getting more seeds. So only potatoes and carrots particularly benefit since they're both the seed and the crop. See, I just have not. I've tried it. I don't think it works. It does work for netherboard, yes. And for that, yes, it can be useful. Streamer server that has a few players. Okay. Admin is a viewer who takes care of it. I want to say love having viewers who will run a server for you because I think that a lot of streamers do love that. I run my server myself. In fact, I'm one of Joe's viewers who runs the server for him. Joe, I wonder actually if I did it wrong because I think I was like, well, I'm gonna try this with my pickaxe. But I think maybe fortune only applies if it's the correct tool or something. I'm not sure. Some of the smaller buildings, there was one with skeleton horses, another with cats, and another with allies. Cool. Alright, let's see. It even works using fortune. I don't believe you. We'll test it in a second because I have my crops, but protection. Let's see. Let's enchant these real quick. I can put these in storage so that I have room for enchanted books. Grass. Dirt. And seeds. And a little snow for no particular reason. Let's get ourselves some books. We want efficiency. Really, I think I only have enough to do 1 shovel. But efficiency, unbreaking, mending, and Joe, we'll see about that. Silk touch. Mending. Interesting. Okay. Another screenshot also those beacons are sextuple beacons that reach almost all the islands since the admin extended beacon range slightly. Interesting. Now I can send another screenshot. Inside storage, bottom level. Anyway. Cool. So you never built an automated storage? I'm curious. Fortune levels also increase odds of oak leaves dropping apples, leaves in general dropping sticks, and weeping and twisting vines. I didn't know about the weeping and twisting vines. I didn't know about the apples. Also the saplings, which can be important for the problem trees, like jungle. Alright. I need XP somehow. There's no ender, so where am I gonna get it? I guess I could get it from have some mob spawners. Let's see. Skeletons, spiders, and zombies. The zombie farm is set up for a lava chicken farm. It's set up to specifically get the chicken jockeys. So, Joe, I hate those. I hate those with a passion. I don't like them. But if we stand here, then we can maybe get some XP. Speed 2 Zemius is making my head hurt. I had to log off the server. Am I getting any XP from this? Technically, yes. Okay, cool. Where are the baths? Oh, I'll let you know when I find out. Allow me to introduce you to the Minecraft accessibility settings. They keep adding more every game, every update, and it's really nice. So for example, you can turn off view bobbing, you can turn off nether portal swimming. You can, there's a couple of these that are slightly cheaty. Controls, you can set these to hold or toggle. So if I set this to toggle, I can hit shift and then it'll stay sneaking until I hit shift again. I don't like that. Eve likes that and it drives me insane. Because occasionally I'll try to use her computer and then I'll just shift and I'll be flying in creative and I'll shift and I'll just slowly go down and I'll be like, why can't I stop going down? Oh, so it's these in the menu. Options, accessibility settings. Yeah, there's so many of them now. They keep adding them, which I'm all for. Like, we need accessibility. A lot of them are focused around people with epilepsy, so you can turn off some of the things that would be triggers for that, like the sky flashes, perhaps. So you can also make it easier to read. You can give yourself more time to read the captions. You can turn on captions for the statums. But yeah, it's yeah, that's that. Oh, that guy had thorns. Is something wrong with Twitch? I didn't knock on wood hard enough. I've dropped some frames. Joseph, no. Jesus, I'm still dropping frames. Yeah, Joe, I'm dropping a lot of frames right now. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I continue to drop frames. The count is just going up and up and up, and about 40 frames a second that I'm dropping. Oh boy. I suppose I don't know what's going on here. Hercule, you'll have to sacrifice for the good of the stream. But I'm dropping 2 out of every 3 frames. No. Yes, so we updated to 1.21.10. Oh, I'm still on the desktop. Bitrate dropping. Is that part of OBS? No, this is the Twitch stream manager. I'm dropping 2 out of every 3 frames. This is not really acceptable. Keep it here for a second. No, I still use OBS. Oh, okay. Joe, you realize you can use the Twitch stats. You can open up the stats and it'll show you the latency to the broadcaster. It's remarkably stable. 65% of frames are dropping. 56%. Why that is, I don't know. Because obviously my internet is fine. Like, Okay, I'm back. But we're still dropping frames. Gotcha, because I stopped my stream for a second. Possibly. We can see what my setting is here. Settings. Stream. I suppose it could be. Twitch could be punishing me for too high bit rates. Okay, audio, video. What is... This is weird. We're dropping almost exactly 2/3 of our frames. Twitch. This makes no sense. Welcome in. Welcome in, Pride Page. Good to see you. Oculus took a pain pill and it's once it starts to denigrate the moment it touches your tongue. Do you mean disintegrate? Or is it really, yeah, bitrate is at 6,000, which is the recommended, and it's definitely, like, we have plenty of bandwidth for that. Buddy, I was not expecting a drag show in one piece, but I was not disappointed. Okay, then. I wonder if